can't even get the door open. It's gonna take. This is not. We're not moving much.
No.
We aren't moving.
Dude, we're not moving in for a long time. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's your first time watching my video. You're probably wondering what the heck is going on by the caption, because A, I don't ever do story times. Well, actually I think I've done one. And B, I was homeless? Yes. Today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be painting my nails this really pretty raspberry color, and I'm going to be telling you guys a story time while I do it. So, if you're ready for a juicy, crazy story, keep watching because you're in for a treat. You might want to grab a cup of tea, some coffee, some popcorn, a sandwich, and this one's going to be juicy. So yeah, let's get into the story time. So I'm going to start off from the beginning, and I'm going to talk to you guys about when my roommates and I first found this apartment. So we were living downtown, and the apartment that we were in was right by the college campus. So it was a really nice area to have friends over. We threw little like kickbacks sometimes, and it was just like a fun spot to live. We were just ready for a change though, and our lease was about to end that year. So I moved there later because they had a situation with their third roommate and they needed someone else to move in. So I was already friends with both of them, and I was like, you know what, I'll just move in, why not? Let's give it a try. So I moved in January of this past year, and our lease ended July 31st of this year. So we started looking for places to move out of there very early on because we just wanted to be prepared. So we found this really cute place that was honestly only probably like a block away from the place that we were already living at, which was super convenient. So we would just have to like rent a moving truck and literally just like move everything right down the street. So it made our lives so much easier because we have a lot of furniture, even though there's 3 of us. So it just made things a lot easier. So when we were looking at this place online, the pictures were pretty good. You know, you could see that I don't know the exact square footage, but it was big. It was a lot bigger than what we already had, and it was a 4-bedroom. Like I said, I had 2 other roommates, but my third roommate needed an extra room for her brother to stay in because he was going to school down where we were going to, and he needed an extra room to come stay in for when they let him leave school, because it's like a stricter school. So we found this 4-bedroom. Wasn't super expensive, and we were really excited about it. So we went ahead and signed the lease. Or actually, before we signed the lease, we did a walkthrough. Keep in mind, when we found this place, it was probably like April. So COVID was still running rampant. I mean, it still is, but COVID was like at its peak. So thankfully, the tenants were kind enough to let us walk through with masks and gloves and let us see their place. And let me tell you, we should have seen the red flags. So when you walk through, there's a lot of like broken stuff, like the floor, not the floorboards. There were a lot of like holes in the walls. A lot of things were like covered up with tapestries, and me, being the person I am, didn't really think anything of it. We were like, okay, it's gonna be work. We're gonna have to paint, we're gonna have to fix things up, but it will be possible. We just have to put the energy into it. And we were willing to spackle, paint, anything we needed because we were so excited about this apartment. So fast forward up to what, 2-3 weeks ago when we were supposed to move in. So, you know, we move everything out of our apartment. Everything's packed up in this moving truck at this point, and we're like ready to move in. So basically what we had to do is we had to move everything into the truck and then stay with our parents. And then that night, meanwhile, we were getting no sleep. I know the story's like all over the place. We were getting no sleep. So I think Friday it was that we had to be out of there So we woke up at like 7:30, got no sleep the night before because we like slept on air mattresses in an empty apartment because we had to put everything in the truck. So all of our belongings were in the truck except for like things that we put in like our backpacks and stuff. So everyone was so irritable. We were all like sick of each other. Everyone was just like done. So once we moved out of there at 10 o'clock in the morning, we all went to our parents' houses. One of my roommates, I'm gonna use fake names because I don't know if they would both be comfortable having me use their names in the story, so I'm just gonna use fake names. So we're gonna call the roommate whose brother was needing a 4th bedroom. We're gonna call her Stacy, and then we're gonna call my other roommate Tracy. So Stacy, no, that's too similar. We're gonna call the other roommate Megan. So what did I say? Stacy. So Stacy texted us later in the day. She said, hey, the landlord let me know that we're good to go ahead and move in. So our plan was at like 6 o'clock at night, we were gonna go and clean, like sanitize everything, like sweep the floors in the new apartment, everything like that, just like get ready to move our stuff in and try to like paint a little bit before too, so we can like have it painted before we put all of our stuff in there. So she texted us in the group chat and was like, hey, she told me to go head over, so I'm gonna go over there if you guys want to meet me there. So I'm like, all right. Keep in mind, I'm in such a bad mood. I have like no appetite because I've been anxious all day, and I took like a 2-hour nap, so I was kind of just like groggy, but I was like, you know what, this will be over soon. So I get another text probably like a half hour later. I'm about to leave at this point to go to the new apartment. My roommate goes, so this place is an absolute wreck. And we're like, okay, like that's not good. Like, did the roommates leave it a mess? And she was like, yeah, but it's like worse than you would expect. So we're like, okay, great. So we text the landlord and she's like, yeah, I know they didn't really clean up after themselves. So what I can do is either give you $200 to clean it yourselves, or I can pay for a cleaning lady to come. So I was like, cleaning lady. So I immediately found someone, and she was willing to come at like 7 o'clock. And the place, when I tell you, a cleaning lady could not fix how bad that apartment was. I am going to insert video for you guys right now. So as I'm talking, the fridge was an absolute wreck. There was mold in the fridge. It was absolutely disgusting. It's just everything about this place was so nasty. Yeah, mold in the fridge. The previous tenants literally left their dishes in the dishwasher, like so like immature and just unprofessional for the landlord to like not go through a walkthrough with them and like say, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that because you're not going to get your security deposit back if you do that. Because, you know, with an apartment, like you put your security deposit down, and if you leave the place a wreck before you leave, I mean, you can't get your money back. There was a ceiling leak that was so bad, you can't even tell on camera how bad it was, but the ceiling leak was absolutely horrific. The bathroom, oh my gosh, it smelled like pee. There was pee all down the front of the toilet. There was stuff still in their closet. Bathroom was absolutely disgusting. I didn't even want to step foot in there, but I did for the video. So when I walked in, I saw the look on my roommates' faces, and it completely just said, we can't live here. I immediately knew when I walked in and I saw their faces that we were not moving into this place tonight. So we, at this point, were in shock. We had to go and get on a laptop and find a place to move into, because keep in mind, 2 of us have our parents here, but you know, obviously we're not wanting to just like move back in with them on the spot. So we're kind of just like floating around at this point, back and forth. So we go to the hotel that my one roommate's mom is staying at, because it's a couple blocks away from the apartment we were supposed to move into. And we're just like a mess. Like, we're crying, but more more of like laughing, crying, like that we just couldn't believe that this was happening. Like we had this lease signed, we were ready to move in, and now we're like, oh cool, so we don't have a house right now. we don't have a home to live in right now, so we are kind of homeless. So we look and we schedule these showings and stuff for the next day, and we decide to just call it a night and just go home and get some sleep. So we wake up early the next morning and we go back downtown and we just like keep looking for houses. We were all just so tired and so done, because like imagine thinking that you're gonna move into a place and then completely just having that ripped away from you because the living environment was so unhealthy, and just having to drive around every day, all day, until you find an apartment to move into. It was a mess. It was a big fat mess. So we wound up getting our security deposit back from our landlord. She didn't really understand how bad the place was, and I don't think she understood that this place needed months of contracting. They needed contractors in that place working on it 24/7. It was so bad. And I think she just thought that it could just use a little clean, like we could just get a cleaning lady. No, it was terrible. And I'm not being dramatic, because I'm someone who can like take something and be like, okay, let's work with this. This place was, you could not work with this. It was absolutely just a wreck. And my one roommate and her mom are realtors, so, and her dad's a contractor, so she understands the ins and outs of how, you know, structural, like the structural side of apartments works, and like, you know, the windows not being sealed. Like I wouldn't have even known what that meant until she said something. So to have her there was so helpful, to just be able to like call everything out, be like, that window's not sealed, roof leak, or ceiling leak, black mold, this in the vent, like this over here. And it was just like nice to be able to actually be able to see everything that was wrong. So we spent probably a good 4 days searching for houses, apartments, I should say. And it was very hard to find 4 bedrooms, especially because like there aren't a lot of apartment complexes that will allow 4 bedrooms. So we were kind of stuck to moving into a house. And my one roommate, Megan, and I, the one whose family does live here, kind of thought, well, maybe an apartment complex would be nice. Maybe it would be nice to go from like living downtown in like this old house to moving into an apartment complex where we have a gym, a pool, it's brand new. We have a coffee machine downstairs. Like maybe it would just be a nice change of scenery. So we kind of just like started looking just for fun, just to see like what the apartment complex offered. And that night, it was probably like the 4th or 5th night we were looking for stuff, we got a call from Stacy. And she told us that she is getting an apartment by herself with her brother and will no longer be living with us anymore. So we had spent 4 days, 4 or 5 days, looking for apartments every day from morning to night, pretty much, looking for 4 bedrooms. And now Megan and I need to find a place to live. So we're screwed, because we had already lost so much time with all of our stuff sitting in a moving truck that we're just paying for every day to just sit in a truck in the middle of a parking lot downtown. And now we have to find a 2-bedroom apartment. So that was just such a mess. So Megan and I were like, okay, well, this sucks, but we're gonna figure this out. Maybe it will be better, you know, like there's a reason for everything. Maybe like, you know, who knows? So we found a couple different apartment complexes that we really liked. There was one that we loved that was really expensive. And then there were a couple more that were a little bit cheaper, but we didn't like the area that they were in as much. And it's a year lease, so you want to make sure it's something good, something that you're gonna like to live in for a year. So we actually, on the day that we were supposed to make the decision, because as some of you may know, apartment complexes will give you offers. So let's say you tour an apartment complex, they might say, okay, if you apply within 48 hours of your tour, we will give you like 2 months rent free or something like that. So it basically, because they want you in there, so they want to give you this like incentive to come back and apply like immediately. So we had to make a decision because we had all of these offers for all these different apartment complexes. And at this point, we were so done. We were so tired. We were so ready to just get in a place because we had actually, since, you know, Tracy split up from us, we had to go. This was all during a tropical storm, by the way. We had to go and take all of our stuff out of this moving truck and move it into a storage unit while it was pouring rain so that Tracy could come and get her stuff out of the truck and put her stuff in her own storage unit. So we were like separating everything, and it was a pain in the ass, but thankfully we did it. It was just a mess. So we did that. Where was I? I'm sorry, this story's like so all over the place, but that's what this situation is. So I'm being so real when none of this makes sense. That's literally how I felt during the entire situation. So you're getting exactly what is happening. Like, this is just such a messy story, but it's because it's such a messy situation. So the day that we actually had to make our decision for an apartment complex, because those were the days that all of our like special offers were expiring, we found one last apartment complex because we were kind of torn. Like, Megan and I both really liked this expensive place. She liked this other place that was cheaper. I didn't like it. I liked this place that was across the street from it, but she didn't like that one. So we were just like, what do we do? So we found one last apartment complex to tour. Her mom did, actually. So it was right near the one that we both liked that was really expensive, but we were like, okay, let's just go tour it. You know, what's the worst that can happen? So we absolutely fell in love with this place after touring it. The guy who gave us the tour was literally like the nicest person in the world. He took off a lot of money for us because he wanted us there, and he wanted us to have incentive to apply that day. So we were super excited. I wish I took a video of this place. The layout was amazing. You walk in and there's like an island, and then like there's the kitchen, and then you have like a little island where you can put bar stools. Then there's the living room. It's nice, big and open. You have a balcony, and then off the living room there's a bedroom. Off the living room there's another bedroom. The closets and the bathrooms were huge. The rooms were huge. They were equal size, which is great. So we're each paying the same amount to have equal bedrooms, which is absolutely what we wanted. It was in our price range. We were so excited. So we like rushed back to her house and got on our laptops and applied like right away. So we're like, okay, we're ready. And we had already told him, like, do you think we can move in Friday? We toured this place on Wednesday. He was like, Friday sounds good. Let me just run your applications. It'll be so quick and easy. We'll get you in by Friday. So we're like, okay, perfect. So later on, I go home, freshen up, and I'm in a good mood. I'm like, hell yeah, like I'm moving into an apartment on Friday. Like everything's working out. Like everything that has happened that has been so crappy is now working out for the better. Just wait. So I'm at the grocery store with my mom. We're getting stuff to make dinner. And I get a call from the guy who, we're gonna call him John. So I get a call from John, and he's like, hey Hannah, I got your application. I got you and Megan's applications together, and you know, everything's good, but I just wanted to let you know that for some reason, you know, your credit check, they did not like approve your credit check, basically. And I was like, that's weird. Like, I don't see why, you know, it would not be approved. Like, I've always, you know, I don't have credit because I don't have a credit card yet. That will change. I'm getting a credit card in the mail. I haven't had credit build up because I haven't gotten a credit card. I've just had my debit card since high school, and I like haven't had a reason to get a credit card yet. So, you know, I didn't see an issue with it, but I called the credit check company, and they were basically like, yeah, so you don't have any credit activity, and therefore you cannot move into this apartment. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, what if we like negotiate a little bit? What if I what if I have like my parents co-sign, or my parents even sign and I pay them, or like I pay you the entire year's rent up front. Like I give you all of it right now, so you don't have to worry about me not paying. Sorry, my camera just fell. I'm trying to like reposition myself. But so basically I was like, can I give you all the money now? So, like I want this place so bad. Like I need to move in. Like I can't do anything else at this point. Like we're in such a bind. I need a place to go. Like I really would rather not have to move back in my parents at almost 21 years old. And they said no. So I'm currently at my parents' house. Literally wasted like 3 weeks trying to find a place to move into. And thankfully, my friend Megan, so understanding about everything. She's actually totally fine. She was like, well, let's just like both stay at our parents for now. We'll save up money. You can build your credit a little bit more, so you'll have more options of like where we can move to, because a lot of apartment complexes do require credit. So I was like, okay, this is gonna suck, but you know what? I like to think that there's a reason for it, and I like to think that there's something good that's gonna come out of it, even though it's not what I want. And maybe it is the best time for this to happen with COVID going on. Maybe, you know, living with my parents and having a little less responsibility of like, you know, rent to pay every month and stuff like that. Obviously, like I help them out and I pay for other things, but yeah. Also, when I say I was homeless, I'm not homeless, but like when it comes to like me having my own home, like yes, I was homeless. I am homeless because I don't technically live here anymore because I lived on my own. So I'm staying here pretty much as like a guest, basically. So yeah, basically what I've learned from this situation is look more into things before you sign a lease. Don't think that you are invincible and that you can fix up an entire house yourself, because I don't know, I guess I just didn't expect it to be that bad, and the pictures online didn't look bad, and when we toured it, it didn't look bad. But also remember that if you tour apartments, keep in mind that people position furniture in certain ways to cover up marks, holes, broken glass. If you're moving out for the first time, be careful. Make sure you really know where you're moving into. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to start making more videos since I am back at my parents'. I feel like I have a little bit more free time, even though technically like I would be doing the same thing if I lived in an apartment. But I am going to try and get back on here, make some more videos for you guys, and I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.